Now, recently, Aetna announced that it's significantly reducing its part in Obamacare, essentially leaving millions of people out of the exchanges and hurting the law as a whole. Now, conservatives, of course, have piled on to say how this is a failure of Obamacare and why we should get rid of it. It's failed. It's failed. See, Aetna pulling out. It's aborting. It's got to go. Ironically, that's about the only time a conservative would say abort. But anyway, or would advocate for the abortion of something. But anyway, they want to point out how this is a complete failure, right? By saying, look, Aetna's pulling out. They can't make any profit. Well, I pointed out yesterday how they're still making about $700 million in profit off of this, off of their insurance. So they're still making tons of money, but they didn't think that it was enough. Now, Senator Bernie Sanders, however, well, he's actually calling for something different in the wake of this whole thing. And I go to the Hill for that. Sanders on Tuesday vowed to bring back a debate on government-run insurance option one day after the nation's third largest insurer announced a major pullback from the exchanges. The senator said that he would reintroduce his legislation to create a Medicare-for-all system in the next session of Congress, hopefully after Senate Democrats regain control of the chamber in the November elections. He says, quote, "In my view, the provision of health care cannot continue to be dependent upon the whims and market projections of large private insurance companies whose only goal is to make as much profit as possible. That is why we need to join every major country in the world and guarantee health care to all of us as a right, not a privilege." So there's Senator Bernie Sanders. Now, Aetna, for its part, had announced that it would pull out of Obamacare exchanges, citing $200 million in losses over the past few months as a major reason for the move. That's what they said. We're losing too much money. We can't keep up with this, right? It's too expensive to cover these people through Obamacare. We want to give people the best kind of coverage, but we just can't. We can't afford it. Well, once again, they're only making $790 million in profit this last quarter. So that's fake. Spare me your crocodile tears. I'm not buying it. In fact, a recent letter from Aetna to the Justice Department actually shows that the insurer had threatened to leave if the Department of Justice blocked their attempted merger with Humana. So look, this isn't about Obamacare costing them too much money. No, this is nothing but pure retaliation against the government for blocking a merger that would have made them millions of dollars, as well as help them consolidate the market so that they could charge more for giving less services. You see, this is what progressives have been worried about when it came to the ACA. We put too much power in the hands of private insurance companies. And this is also why we were pissed off when Obama tossed out the public option in order to appease Republicans. Oh, Republicans, I want you to vote for my healthcare law with me. I want you to vote with me. And so in order to do that, I'm just going to hand over control of this entire health insurance industry, or I'm going to give our control to this law to the health insurance industry and make you all have to pay private insurers. Now, how many Republican votes did Obama get? Oh, right. Dick. Zero. Nada. Nothing. And as a bonus, Obama had them try to repeal it over 60 fucking times. Way to go, Obama. But they tell me that Obama's playing three-dimensional chess. Well, I think he lost. But anyway, look, progressives throughout that entire time were warning you, don't do this, don't do this. We need a public option. We need something to rein in these health insurance companies. But you said, no. You don't need a public option. In fact, the liberal groups, according to Rahm Emanuel, are fucking retards in his mind. That's what he called us. Progressive activists who were saying, hey, maybe we should have a public option to compete with the private options, right? No. Obama, in his infinite wisdom, thought that the insurance companies would actually care, would actually give a shit about their consumers, and stay in the marketplace and actually offer competitive prices. Well, I got news for you. Corporations are not people. They don't care because, look, the truth is they are amoral profit-making machines. They are legal fictions who are designed to do whatever it takes to make a buck. Now, that does not make them evil. I just said that they're amoral. These machines are doing exactly what they were programmed to do, to make money. And this is where I get tired of people thinking that companies should be unregulated because, oh, don't worry, if we just take off the restraints of corporations, they will do the right thing. Because the invisible hand of the free market will make them do the right thing. Well, look, when you do that, when you eliminate all regulations, the open hand of the free market slaps us in the face instead of actually helps us and makes companies do the right thing. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some companies that do the right thing, whether or not it's for PR reasons or whether or not the CEO is actually a decent human being. But see, we shouldn't have to rely on companies making the right decision and doing the right thing. We should have rules. We should have rules. And look, if you want to look at what we did in the past when it came to regulation of corporations, all you have to do is take a quick look through American history back when businesses didn't have regulations. That'd show a quite different story than the one that the libertarians, the one that conservatives, the free market people are painting. For example, you had 9-year-olds working in factories, in sweatshops. You had no safety regulations, no OSHA. So you had, tainted food. You had food poisoning everywhere. You had very unsafe working conditions. People would die going to work because there was no regulations. There was no safety. There was nothing. People were getting underpaid. It was awful. That's why we have regulations. That's why we need them. Now back to the public option, right? Now I want to ask, why are conservatives so afraid of having an option? I mean, really. I thought part of being conservative says, well, I love competition. I want to have choices. Now, if you take away all the choices and only give you the government option, well, that sucks in their minds, right? Because I want choices. I want more choices, right? The more choices, the better. Well, then why can't we opt in to choose a government plan? But the people who want to do a government plan should be allowed to get a government plan, and the ones who don't should be allowed to have a private plan. That's what a public option is. So why are you so afraid of a public option? Why? Are you afraid that people will opt into it and then actually like it and choose it over for-profit health insurance? Is that what you're afraid of? I think it is. And look, even in a Medicare-for-all system, right, which is like, oh my God, when you mention that to a conservative, their head explodes. They're running around with their hair on fire. They're like, how dare you, socialism? Horrible. It's not like there isn't a choice in a system where you have Medicare for all. Go to other countries. Look at other countries where they still have a single-payer universal healthcare system, and there are also private market supplements that are offered by private insurance companies, to cover things that the government insurance doesn't. There will always be a market for a supplement plan where it could be very profitable, and it's for people who say, no, I want extra services. I've got the basic package that comes through my tax dollars, but I want something extra. I want something where I don't have to wait. I want something that gets me stuff that isn't normally covered. Okay, well, buy a private plan in the market. That's what we advocate for. Having an option. Public option. Simple, right? And look, here's the thing, right? On certain things, I will argue, and a lot of progressives will argue that the government has the capabilities of doing things better. Now, right now, because we have a right-wing government that Basically, their whole purpose is to break government so that they can tell people, hey, government doesn't work, and then they can sell it off to private interests that happen to give them paychecks. But if we didn't have that system, government would be capable of doing great things. And it's still capable now. It's capable of building infrastructure, and it's also capable of providing healthcare. Now, as far as other goods goes, everybody's worried about the scary communism, right? Well, look, no progressive is asking for the company to take over private goods, to take over things like making shoes and cars and iPads or anything like that. But healthcare, something that humans will inevitably need, well, I would like there to be a government option. But see, as I said, taking over private business, that's not what Bernie Sanders is asking for. That's not what we're asking for. What we simply want is an option, a choice, to choose between a private insurer or a public option. That's it. That's what they call an option. And if you're afraid of that, then you either hate choice and competition or you're ignorant, because you're buying literally what big insurance is selling you. Hey everybody, if you liked this video, then please like this video and share. And if you want to see more like this, then please hit that subscribe button below.